morning, good morning. Listen, man, every time I speak to people, there's certain ways that I like to start. And today, the spirit just hit me that what Clifton just said is about that much of all of our capacity in our own brains. Does that make sense? He just told you, he just gave you a mouthful about being, not using excuses for your life when you're trying to accomplish goals or whatever. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start off with a story. Everybody knows, okay, Rock TV and the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, Dish Nation, and former professional baseball player, and all the cool things that God has blessed me to be able to do in my life. Let's take you back though. Let's take you back when the struggle was real. And honestly, the struggle still is real because my goals are so big that it scares people. And when you tell your dreams and you tell your goals and things that you want to do to other people, and they tell you that, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. Well, maybe you're not going to be able to do that. Who says I can't? Maybe it didn't work for you. Who says it can't work for me? So I'm going to take you back to 10th grade. Tasha Williams.
Like we know Tasha.
Tasha Williams, prettiest girl in the 10th grade, right? I had a crush on her, right? So every time she walked down a hallway in between classes, I would pass her, but not look. I could not make eye contact with Tasha because I was shy back then, right? And every time she walked by, it was just like my heart would start fluttering. And then I got my first car. Now, you know when you're in high school, and you get a car in high school, you think you're the man now. Now, let me tell you about the car. It wasn't new. It wasn't fancy. It was a hoopty. The gas gauge didn't work. The windshield wipers didn't work. It had one seat, but it sat four. See, the back seat and the front passenger seat got stolen out the car. But you couldn't tell me nothing. My dad had to he took one of them old lawn chairs and made it work to sit in the passenger seat up front just so I can have one guest in the car. It was raggedy, but you couldn't tell me. To me, it was a Cadillac. So I got my car, right? I'm rolling. And this is the day. I said, okay, it's impossible for Tasha Williams to say no to me if I ask her to lunch because I got a car. I'm a teenage boy. I got a car. She's going to say yes. So here it is. She's coming down the hallway. I make eye contact with her. Stop. At this point, y'all, my heart stops. So I asked her. I said, hey, I just got my new car, and I would love to take you to lunch today. Now, hit pause right there. If she would have said no, y'all, I still would have been cool because I could just grab one of my homies, we going up the street, go have some lunch, and we good to go because I got my new car. But she said yes. So I'm like, yo, 15 minutes before the bell ring, before lunch, I go to the teacher. I say, hey, I'm not feeling well. Can I go see the nurse? She lets me out of class early. I go see the nurse. Or did I? No, I didn't go see no doggone nurse. I went to the parking lot, grabbed my car, pulled it around to the front of the school, and I was sitting there waiting for the bell to ring because I couldn't wait for Tasha to come down the stairs so I could take her to lunch. Bell rings, everybody scattered. You know how it is in high school. It's lunchtime. Phew, everybody going. But here comes Tasha. To me, slow motion. So me, I'm like trying to be a gentleman. I'm going to go up there, grab her hand, and escort her to the car. So in my head, I'm walking like this. I'm walking like this in my head. But I was really walking like this because I'm nervous, right? So I grab Tasha, I get her to the car, open up the door, let her in the car. I run around the back of the car, open my door, get in, put the key in the ignition. Car won't start, y'all. It's cool, Tasha. It's an old car. It's all good. We're going to be rolling in a second. So I don't know much about the car. I'm 16. My dad taught me a few things about, hey, if your car don't start, check this, and that. So I go, I pop the hood, I check the battery, make sure the post is on tight on the battery. I'm checking the oil, make sure we got oil in the car. I knew there was gas in it, even though the gas tank didn't work. I mean, the gas gauge didn't work because I knew I just filled it up. So I knew there was gas in it, so it wasn't out of gas. I shut the hood, go back, open the door, get back in the car. Yay! Y'all know when the car says, yay! That's it ain't starting. So now I got egg on my face. I look at Tasha and say, I'm not going to be able to take you to lunch. I'm sorry, my car won't start. She was real cool about it. No problem, Rocky. We go another time. She got out the car. I watched her catch up with her girlfriends to go to lunch. So I called my dad. I said, Dad, the car won't start. He comes up to the school, checks out the car. Turns out, y'all, There was nothing wrong with the car. The car was fine. The spark plug was bad. And see, everyone in this room, everybody that's watching today, nothing wrong with you. You're fine. Just got a bad spark plug. Sometimes you just got to get cranked up. Switch your spark plug to crank you up. So that's what I'm here today to do. I'm here to be your spark plug. I'm here to crank you up. I'm here to get you going. I'm here to say that you know that if you hit adversity, if something doesn't work, you learn from it. We don't lose. See, people keep saying you win or you lose. No, you don't. You win or you learn. You learn what to do or what not to do next time, period. And if you fail at anything, I don't care if you fail in school, if you fail at a project, if you fail, you're trying to start a business and that ain't worked the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 10th, 11th, 100th time, 200th time, it doesn't matter. Next up, let me try again. And let me tell you about this word try. I use try just to make a point. Quit using try. Replace it with do. I'm not going to try. I'm going to do. Do the work. Do the homework. Stop trying to do it all yourself. See, I like to be the dumbest person in my circle. And I say that listen, if I'm the smartest person in this room, that's a problem. Because now I think I know it all. I think I'm smarter than everybody. I stopped learning. So when I'm the smartest person in the room, I find me a new room. No disrespect to nobody in here. We still cool. We still gonna be boys. You my girl. Everything cool. Let's go. But I'm going over here because I got to keep elevating. Every level you go to, new level, new devil. So don't think, oh, I just made $1 million. I'm cool. No, up there, there's some haters up there in millionaire land. There's haters in billionaire land. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how big your house is, how many fancy cars you got, how big your money, your stack of money in your hand. That doesn't matter. It's good to have those things, but there's gonna be haters trying to break you down every level you go to. I had two sets of friends in life. This set of friends, they played sports. They stayed in school. They made good grades. Every time I hung around this group of friends, positive things happened to me. Then I had this group of friends over here, gangbangers, drug dealers, dropping out of school. Add anything else negative you want to add to this list. Every time I hung without that group of friends, bad things happened to me, every single time. Two things in my life happened that really shook me and woke me up. The first thing is, I was hanging out with this group of friends one night, and I normally hang out with this group of friends, but one night, one of them got shot. And the one that got shot was like one of my best homies. That night, I wasn't with him. That could have been me. Thank God he's still with us today, but that bullet could have been me. So that kind of shook me for a little bit. The second thing that shook me is I made an F and failed in a class for the first time. So the one thing that used to keep me out of trouble, which was sports and athletics, I couldn't even do that no more. No pass, no play. At that point in my life, I said, you know what? I made a promise to myself. I made a promise to God. I made a promise to my teachers, my coaches, my parents, everybody that had any kind of positive influence in my life that I was going to do something positive with my life. Thank God I had a father, 8th grade education, but the wisest man that I know. He always said, son, learn from my mistakes so you don't have to keep making the same ones. Learn from other people's mistakes so you don't have to keep making those same mistakes. So you don't have to learn from your mistakes only. You can learn from other people's mistakes. And in today's world, especially with YouTube and the internet, and you hear these stories about the mistakes people made, and you're like, oh my God, learn from it and say, okay, well now I know what not to do when I apply stuff for what I'm trying to do. So goal number one, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I want to be a professional baseball player. I'm in high school. As a senior in high school, I'm not even starting. I'm a senior on the baseball team. I did pretty good playing football, but baseball, I wanted to play baseball, and I wasn't that good at that time. So I asked my coach, I said, Coach, what can I do to be a better baseball player? What can I do to start? He said, son, what is it that you want to be when you get out of high school and get out of college and everything? I said, I want to be a radio TV personality. That's one of my goals. He says, well, sit down, son. He sat me down and says, you go practice being the best radio DJ that you can possibly be because you're not going to be a professional baseball player. This is my coach telling me this. He didn't say, work hard, be the first one to practice, be the last one to leave, get in the gym, do all these things to get better. He didn't do that. He literally told me that I am not going to be a professional baseball player. Forget about that dream. You go practice being the radio DJ that you want to be one day. So I could have took that and quit. Dream killer. I shared a dream with someone who I thought was kind of a mentor, and he shut it down. Because in his head, he didn't think I was going to be able to make it. So what did I do? I went to the football field. And by the way, I said, okay, well, what can I do to become a better baseball player? Anyways, he says, well, you're not fast enough, your arm is not strong enough, and you're not that good of a hitter, which is things that you need to be a good baseball player. So I went to the football field, and I used to get on the goal line, and I used to run full sprints all the way down 100 yards to the other goal line. Then I would walk. Then I would start again and run another full sprint. Then I would jog. Then I run another full sprint, then another full sprint. I got to the point where I was passing out on the field, working on my sprints, trying to become faster, because you're not going to tell me that I ain't fast enough. Then, same football field, I used to get a bucket of baseball. I had like 60 balls in there. One at a time, I used to chunk the baseballs and throw as hard as I can, because one day I want to be able to throw 100 yards. I want to throw a baseball the whole football field. And I just kept doing it every week, 50 yards, 60, 70, 80. I just kept going until I was able to throw a baseball 100 yards. Because you ain't going to tell me that my arm ain't strong enough. I went to the batting cages to hit, and I was just hitting every single day. I was hitting every single day, blisters on my hand because I couldn't afford batting gloves. I used to borrow my dad's old work gloves. Those were my batting gloves. And then holes got in those, so now I'm just hitting with my hands. I used to go pick up cans in the street. I used to go to barbershops and sweep hair. I had paper routes. Just had a whole bunch of little odd-end jobs just to make money so I can go to the batting cage to pay for my hitting. And then I went to the batting cage owner and said, hey, can you give me a job? And you don't have to pay me nothing. I just want to work so I can hit. And he was like, cool, no problem. So I would work 4, 5, 6 hours, and then I would hit for another 2 or 3 hours. Because you ain't going to tell me that I ain't a good enough hitter. Fast forward, graduated high school, earned a baseball scholarship to college, and I was drafted by the New York Mets out of college. Goal number 1 was accomplished. Now let's go after my baseball career. I went to the #1 radio station right here in Dallas-Fort Worth at the time, which was K104 FM. This was before 97.9, any of all that. And I went to K104 and I applied for a job. Everybody was telling me, if you want to be a radio DJ, you got to go to a small city first, get your first radio job, learn, then go to a bigger city for the big radio jobs. Now, Dallas is the 5th largest market in the country. It's a big deal. I'm like, once again, that's your dream. If I want to be the best, I want to learn from the best. So if I got the best right here where I live, I'm going to the best. All they can tell me is no. And they told me no. They told me no 5 times. I came back a 6th time. I said, before y'all tell me no again, I'll work free. That's exactly what they did. They laughed because they didn't think I was serious. I was serious as a heart attack. Because I knew that I was going to be a valuable asset to the company one day. So I kept asking, I'll work for you, you ain't got to pay me nothing. So they finally took me up on my offer, and I was able to come to that radio station. I was in the promotion department, programming department. I was going out with the street team. I was getting lunch for people, getting coffee, going on coffee runs. I was doing everything in that building that you can possibly do, learning, because I knew one day they were going to have to give me a shot. So my first year in radio, everybody trip out when I tell this story. My first year in radio, I didn't get paid a dime. So now you're probably saying, well, how are you able to take care of your financial responsibilities? So I took the money that I made from playing baseball, and I started a baseball youth academy on the weekends where I was teaching kids how to play baseball. Had baseball camps and stuff like that. So I was able to pay for my bills and keep all that taken care of or whatever. So I was coming up to this radio station Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week, doing all this free of charge. About 6 months in, I said, man, they still haven't hired me yet. I started getting frustrated. I started getting the devils, the haters. Well, Rock, what you doing, man? Why are you working free for that? At first it was cool. Oh, man, you got you a cool radio job. But then when they found out I wasn't getting paid, they were like, man, what you doing? Man, you stupid. You dumb. You the one telling you to work for free. Whatever. And I was ready to quit. Matter of fact, I told him, I said, man, I ain't going to be able to do this no more. And then one of my mentors pulled me aside and said, what you doing? I said, what you mean? I said, man, I've been working for this company for 6 months and they ain't paid me nothing. I gotta figure something out. You told them you'll work free. I said, I know, but 6 months, you think they would have said yes by now? He says, man, you played sports. You like football, don't you? I said, yeah, I like football. He said, there's a thing called the preseason in football, in the NFL. I said, okay, what's your point? He says, what's the point of preseason? I said, well, teams trying to find out who's going to make the final roster. They got to work out all the wrinkles. It's kind of practice games. He says, exactly. They're getting ready and preparing for the regular season. That's what you're doing now. This is all practice. You preparing. This is your preseason. So when they tell you yes, you ready to go. I didn't think of it that way. So that kind of motivated me. That was my spark plug. So I got back in there. I kept going. 9 months in, same thing. Monkey jumped on my back. I'm like, dang it, 9 months. My money running out a little bit. Baseball camp is still doing cool, but man, I can't keep doing this. I was ready to quit again. Matter of fact, I went and told them, say, hey man, I ain't gonna be able to do this. And for 2 weeks, I took like a 2-week break. I didn't come in. Once again, I had another positive influence in my life to say, Rocky, you better get your butt in there. You doing things in 9 months that some people that's been with the company in 5 years, and you're already doing more than what they've done. Get your butt back in there. Your time is coming. I got back in there, kept going. A year went by. Finally, a position became available. They was forced to hire me. So I got in there. I'm there now. 6 years with that company. Steve Harvey, he had a morning show on. At that time, they had started 97.9 The Beat. He was on a morning show. He was doing mornings on 97.9 The Beat. And then he wanted to escalate his career. So he stopped doing his morning show here in Dallas to go to LA to escalate his career. And Ricky Smiley, a new comedian coming up, was one of his boys. He said, I think you should give my morning show here in Dallas to Ricky. He's the next big talent. He's going to be a big deal. You should probably give it to him. That's how Rick got the job. Rick came to town. He met me. He found out I knew a lot about sports. And he's like, I want you to be my sports guy on my new morning show. At that time in my radio career, doing the mornings, I haven't done yet. I've done everything else, but I've never done a morning show. And the morning show, just for you guys know, is kind of a big deal. It's like the biggest thing on the radio out of all the time slots. So I joined the Ricky Smiley Morning Show 16 years ago. We've been rolling ever since. Started off here in Dallas, Fort Worth. Now we're on in 101 markets around the country. 8 million people listen to the Ricky Smiley Morning Show every single day. That led to Dish Nation. That led to other opportunities. I was able to start 3 or 4 new businesses. Blah, 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 blah. The reason why I'm sharing that with you guys, because even after this, I don't want you saying, hey, good job, man. Way to go, Rock. Good job, buddy. I don't want you ain't got to pat me on the back. I just want to share this so you guys can say, okay, well, this is what I would, whatever you guys are going on in your heads, whatever you want, why are you here? You're here for a reason. Everyone watching, you're here listening and watching it for a reason. And every time you hit a pitfall, every time you hit a brick wall, every time you hit adversity, you can't tell yourself that it didn't work, so let me try something else. That's an excuse. You can't let somebody, I don't care if it's mom, dad, sister, brother, best friend, whoever, you can't let these dream killers make you stop following your dream. Those are excuses. If anything that pops in your head that prevents you from doing what you want to do, shame on you. You can't blame because I live in the hood. I live in a bad, poor area. I don't have a good job. I don't have that much money. I want to start my own business, but I need money to start a business. YouTube is free. Social media is free. It ain't as hard as it used to be to start a business. You got a brand? Man, promote your stuff on social media. I don't care if you got 50 followers. You go hard with those 50 followers. Convince those 50 followers that what you have to offer is out of this world. Because those 50, if you're doing what you're supposed to do and you're over-delivering, they're going to tell somebody. Now you got 100. That 100 got 200. See, we look at these influencer followers. These influencers that got millions and millions of followers. See, it's easy for them. They got 1 million people follow them. See, they could just, hey, I got a book. And then 10,000 people going to buy the book just because they got 1 million followers. Well, how about you go sell 1 book? Then 2. Then 3. And stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing yourself, man. Because you look at this and say, man, they got all this great stuff. Look at their home. Look at their car. Look at all this money they're flashing. Oh, they're taking all these exotic trips. I want to go. Man, their business is doing it. I'm doing the same thing they're doing. And how come I hear it all. Quit comparing yourself, because that's going to be the quickest way to force you to quit. Now you're going to get stuck doing something that you don't want to do. You're going to get stuck at a job that you don't want to be at. I see people that's making a lot of money at jobs, but they're miserable because it's not what they really want to do. You got to be a mountain climber. I don't know if you guys heard me tell my mountain climber story, but there's nothing gratifying about climbing a mountain. But that mountain climber doesn't want the helicopter to come pick him up at the bottom of the mountain and take him straight to the top. To a mountain climber, he's embraced the grind. He's embraced the struggle of climbing a mountain. 100-pound backpack. Running out of food possibly. Running out of water possibly. Blisters on his feet. Climbing the mountain. Getting scraped up by the trees and the branches as you climb this mountain. But when you get to the top, that's the gratifying moment. You've made it through all those, the turmoil of climbing this mountain, but you finally made it to the top. You made it to your goal. That's the part that's going to make you feel good. And now you become invincible. And just because you become invincible, now what? It's time for the next mountain. See, don't ever be content. And let me explain what I mean by that. There's nothing wrong with being content if you're happy where you are and you're happy doing whatever you're doing, whatever it is, because everybody's goals are different. Everybody's success is different. Sometimes success for a person wants to be way up here. Sometimes this is somebody's success, and that's okay. But even when you're made it to your success level, whatever that level is, what I mean is don't be content. Don't stop growing. Don't stop trying to say, how can I enhance what I'm doing? Even though I'm cool with what I'm doing, how can I enhance it? How can I add a little bit of gas to it to make the flame just a little bit bigger so it never fizzles out? Because when you get content, you stop growing. Then you get too content, competition's going to come. And they're going to throw water on your flame, and it's going to go out. Think about Walmart. Think about Walmart when they started way back then, just little bitty stores. What if they would have got content with their little bitty stores and that's it? Then you got all these other big superstores coming out. Have you ever driving down the road and you say, man, whatever happened to that business? They got content. Because all these other names started, they kept growing. They kept figuring out how can we get online now? How can we take advantage of the internet now? When COVID hit, everybody had to shift to say, okay, we got to figure out how to deliver because Amazon killing us. So guess what? Walmart upped their game. And now you can order stuff on Walmart, walk in, pick it up, ain't got to stand in line, keep it moving. Or they're delivering right to your doorstep, just like Amazon. And there's a lot of other businesses, even not that big, doing the same thing. DoorDash, all that stuff. When Uber and Lyft came out, everybody said, oh, what if we did an Uber or Lyft but for food? That's how DoorDash got created. My point is this, guys. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how young you are. Start. Start. You will never finish a race if you don't start. Think about it. You're on the starting line. Mark, get set, go. Am I ever going to finish the race? I'm sitting here in the blocks. Just go. I don't care if I get last place. I finished. Just go. And then that's another problem we have. We run the race and we finish last. I suck. Go put some work in. Why did you finish last? Because the other ones in front of you outworked you. They training harder than you. So get your butt back into training and figure out how to at least get second to last next time. Guys, it's common sense. I'm going to be honest with you. It's common sense, but from the time that you're born to the time that you're 16, 17, whatever, before you graduate high school, okay, maybe that's an excuse because you're going off of how your parents raised you, whoever's in your influence as a kid growing up, you're going off what you're being taught, what's being fed into your head as a child. So I'll give you that. But sooner or later, you got to say, hold on now. Right, wrong, good, bad, yes, no. I can make a choice. You got the internet too. So you're seeing all this stuff. And instead of glorifying all this stuff that you're seeing people do, don't compare. But it's just like, well, wait a minute, if they can do it, how come I can't? That's how you use that stuff. You use it kind of as motivation, like, okay, I have a choice. We are in our own way, guys. We are in our own way. If you take a little donkey, I like telling stories, y'all. There's this little donkey, and then there was the owner, and he couldn't find the donkey. He's like, where's my donkey at? So he's in the wilderness looking for his donkey, and the donkey fell in this big old hole, like a big hole, and he can't get out. So the donkey's just, I'm stuck. So now the guy's like, I don't have a ladder. I don't have anything that, I can't throw a rope down to my donkey. Donkey ain't gonna let me pull him out. He's a donkey. How am I gonna get my donkey out the hole? So he saw a shovel sitting down over there. So he went and got the shovel. And he started, I gotta bury my donkey. Like, my donkey's, he's gonna die down there, so I gotta give him a proper, this sucks, but I gotta bury my donkey. So he started shoveling dirt in the hole because he knew he wasn't gonna be able to get the donkey out. So he's pretty much burying the donkey alive. He's shoveling dirt in that hole. And every time he threw a scoop of dirt on the donkey would kind of shake it off. The owner's not knowing what's going on. He's just throwing dirt in there. And every time dirt hit that donkey, he would just kind of shake it off. Like, kept going in there, kept going, shaking it off. And finally, the owner turned around and go back and look in the hole, and the donkey's right here. And he climbs out the hole. Every time dirt was thrown on the donkey, he shook it off, and it went to the ground, and it kept building up. That's how he was able to eventually get out of the hole. So when people throw dirt on you, when people hate on you, shake it off. Stumbling blocks. What are stumbling blocks? You stumble on these blocks, now they're scattered all over the place. Stack them up. When you step on top of the highest one, you higher up than you were before. You got to turn your mishaps into goals, into successes, into wins. It's not hard, guys. I promise you. It's like the road to construction. The road to success is always under construction. This is something Steve Harvey says all the time. The road to success is always under construction. What does that mean? I want to get from here to that camera. And if I walked right now to that camera, I'm not going to have no problem. But life is not like that all the time. You're going to have some potholes. You're going to have some detour signs that pop up. Go this way. Yeah, but I'm trying to go there. Okay, well, just turn here. Then turn left. Then turn right. It may take me off my path about 15 minutes, but eventually I'm going to be where I need to be at my destination if I just follow the signs. Just follow the signs. But what do we like to do? Turn here. Oh, man. Hard-headed. I'm going this way. Now you never make it over there because it done took you all over the place. You back where you started, way back there. Like, golly, now forget it. I'll just go do it another day. That's what we do in life. We forget it a lot. Forget it. I guess it ain't meant for me. That's an excuse. See, the easiest way to believe an excuse is to believe an excuse. We do it all the time, man. It must not be right. See, that's God talking to me. Really? No, that's you talking to yourself. Because we doubt ourselves because my best friend said it wasn't going to work. We put fear. We're not born with fear. We're not born with fear. That's not something that's in us when we come out the womb. But we put it in our own heads because somebody told us that it wasn't going to work. Or we tell ourselves it's not going to work. So guess what? I don't want them to think that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not sure that this is going to work, so I'm not even going to try it. Or I'm just going to wait so I can perfect it. I'm just going to stop. But, man, please, now another day goes by, now you're procrastinating. I want to lose 15 pounds. Okay, I'm going to go work out today. I'm going to work out the next day. I'm going to work out the next day. I don't feel like working out today. I'll do it tomorrow. I don't feel like working out tomorrow. I'm going to do it the next day. I'll get back around to it. I can start. Every time you do that, your energy is going to go further away from your goal. Now you're making excuses. I don't have time to work out. Man, I got to get up. I got to take my kids to school. I got to be at work at this time, and then I got to work this. By the time I get home, I got to do dinner, and then I got to get my family together. And then by the time it's 10 o'clock, it's time for me to go to bed. Well, what time are you getting up? I'll get up at 5 o'clock. Well, get up at 4 o'clock. Then I'm not going to get no sleep. Go to bed earlier. I don't care what you tell me. I'm going to give you a solution. And that's how you got to think. I get up at 3:30 every morning. We got to be on the air at 5 o'clock. I like to exercise. So my excuse was, for a while, man, I ain't got time to work out. I'm going to do it after work. I'm going to do it at the end of my day. That's the worst time to work out at the end of your day because now you're really tired, which is an excuse. It becomes an excuse. Man, I know I got to get in there and get it in, but I'll get it tomorrow. Do the hardest stuff first. So I had to start getting up 30 minutes to an hour earlier. Let me get my workout in, shower, I'm going to work. I got all that stuff done. I need to read. I used to hate reading books. Man, if it didn't have no pictures in it, if magazines, I'm like, okay, cool, got some cool pictures. Man, you tell me to read a book, man, please. Two pages in, I'm ready to stop reading. That was the biggest mistake that I ever made. When I started reading books, and one of my mentors said, man, just try it, Rock, 10 minutes at a time. 10 minutes at a time. Man, I started reading those books, man, and it became my way of thinking. It became my way of thinking. Why are these millionaires and billionaires, how did they get there? What's the process? I started reading biographies. I just started reading their stories. How are they able to do this? And then I just started clicking. They all have the same stories that I have. I said, wait a minute. So back then, before Walmart, Mr. Walton was just, yeah. Before Disney, Mr. Disney was, yeah. Everybody told him no. What amusement park with all these fun rides, whatever. Everybody laughed at him. They told him, man, that's not, what are you talking about? All these great people. Thomas Edison. Electricity was like his 1,000th discovery because all the other ones failed. You ever look at the Kentucky Fried Chicken guy, the Colonel? He's old, right? Why don't they have a younger picture of him? Because he didn't discover Kentucky Fried Chicken until he was 65. All his other restaurants, all his other ideas failed. And he was an entrepreneur since he was 19, 20 years old. Everything kept failing and failing and failing. Finally, the KFC took off for him. He was 65 when that happened. So that's why we see that version of the Colonel. He never quit. He didn't stop. He just kept learning. How can I make this idea better? How can I make this idea better? Guys, it's real simple. Are you going to empower yourself? Are you going to take this information that you've heard from me today, and are you going to pretend like you are a wide receiver in football? What is the job of a wide receiver? The job of a wide receiver is to catch the ball and go what? Go score a touchdown. The job of a wide receiver ain't to catch the ball and just say, all right, and be done with it. No. Unless he catches the ball in the end zone for a touchdown, and he ain't got nowhere else to go. But most of the time, as he's going up and down the field, catch the ball, receive it. He's receiving the ball. You guys are receiving this information. What you going to do about it? Like Cliff said earlier, who are you going to tell about it? Are you going to keep it to yourself? Or are you going to share this? That's another thing we like to do, man. We like to keep everything. I don't want nobody to know what I know because I want to be better than them. Then you wonder why your stuff don't last. Quit hating. Someone took the time to share with you. Why can't you pay it forward and share with them? Don't be that way, man. Pay it forward. Then God going to bless you even more. And guess what happens when you pay it forward? Now you're creating fans, followers, customers. I'm telling you, man, it took me a long time to understand that, man. When I started probably about year 5 in this radio entertainment business, I started watching these concert promoters throw these big, huge concerts and filling up American Airlines Center and all these big arenas with concerts, thousands of people coming out. So I'm sitting here watching this stuff. I'm like, man, they're making a lot of money. I said, I can do that. I'm Rock T. I've been doing this for about 5 years. I know how to do this stuff. So I said, I'm going to throw me my own concert on my birthday. And it's going to be the Rock T Birthday Bash concert, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to bring these artists. So instead of me asking the experts, the promoters, to show me how to do it, or, hey, can you team up with me on this so I can learn and, follow your lead or whatever? I ain't got to make all the money myself. Let's make it together, right? Instead of me doing that, I'm like, I got it. Shoot, I went out there, took my little old money that I had saved up, and I booked me a couple artists, and got the venue that set 10,000 people. Yeah, you can laugh at me. Big old venue that's 10,000 people. I'm like, oh man. Then it wasn't the internet really at the time. Wasn't social media, nothing. So literally you got to buy your advertising on the radio, TV ads, and stuff like that. So I'm on the radio. So I'm thinking, I can just tell people, hey, Rock T, birthday bash, concert, come on out. We're going to sell this thing out, whatever. Guess how many people showed up? 13 people. I'm in this big, huge venue that sits 10,000 people. I spent all my money the wrong way because I had a little ego. I'm thinking, I got this stuff figured out. I'm thinking because I'm Rock T, 5 years of my little career on the radio, everybody going to come. 13 people. So I could have quit. Got mad, blamed everybody. See, y'all ain't supporting my stuff. Y'all hating. The reason why it didn't work because coming up with all these excuses on why it didn't work, and it's my fault. I could have said, Mr. Professional Concert Promoter, I want to get into this part of the business. Can you help me? I want to do an event. And even if I chose to do it myself, why not start off with something that holds 500 people? Let me throw a party first. Forget the concert. Let me throw a little small party, 500 people. So I started doing that. I taught myself how to DJ. I started throwing small little parties, a couple hundred people, small little venues. Those started getting packed. Then I went to bigger venues. Then I started doing 1,000 people, then 2,000 people. Cliff mentioned Stomp Wars. Stomp Wars is the biggest youth step competition in the entire world. It's the Super Bowl of youth stepping. We just finished our 16th anniversary of Stomp Wars. Started off a couple hundred people. Now, 6,000 people come live to the event at College Park Center in UTA. It sits 6,000 people. Sells out every single year. We stream it live on the internet. We had over 1 million viewers this past year. So now we're worldwide. But it started small. Own that space, then escalate. Own that space, then elevate. Own that space. Stop trying to be Walmart now. It's okay to be small first. It's okay to get one. Get one customer if you're trying to start a business. Then get 2. Then get 3. Then as you start growing, then partner. It's okay to say, hey, I like what you're doing. Here's what I'm doing with my brand. I'm not as big as you, but I'm okay. How can we work together? So if I'm selling T-shirts, my T-shirt company is starting to do pretty good, but I'm still not like the big boys. I'm going to the big boys and say, hey man, I'm probably moving about 1,000 T-shirts a month. Not bad, but you're moving 100,000 T-shirts a month. They're gonna do one or two things. Well, how consistent are you moving 1,000 T-shirts a month? Oh, I'm doing 1,000, at least 1,000 every month. Sometimes I hit 1,500, but I'm at least 1,000 every month. Really? Well, you want to sell? I'll buy your company, and you can stay on board and work as a VP. Or how about we run all your customers through our major distribution, which is going to enhance your company now and get you more customers. You see how I'm working? Or they can say thanks, but no thanks. And that's okay too. See that word no? I used to think my name was Noah. Because I got told no all the time. You know, Noah must be short for Noah. My name ain't Noah. I mean, no is a good word, y'all. It's not bad. Because if you keep telling me no, flip that word around. What does it say? And that says on. It's on. Yo, you told me no? I ain't gonna cuss you out. I ain't gonna get mad. I ain't gonna make up a whole bunch of reasons on why you hating. Oh, you just turned that switch on for me. Oh, it's on now. Thank you. It's on now. And I'm going to go grind. I'm going to go figure it out. See, the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people, when unsuccessful people get told no, they're done. They mad, they frustrated, excuses, see nobody wants to support me, I don't blah, 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 and they walk away. Successful people know, we figure it out. Okay, brick wall. I can't go over this thing because we got a ceiling. Man, I can't really go under it because we got a ground right here. So there's really only two options. I can walk out this door, detour, and go around where I need to go eventually on the other side of that wall. But let's just say that door's locked, and this is a wall. There's only one other thing to do. You got to reach down deep in your soul, in your heart, in your mind, and pull out that bulldozer of determination and go through that freaking wall. When you're knocking on doors and nobody's opening to help you out, build your own door. It may take a little bit more time. Build your own door. You put yourself in the box. Step outside that freaking box, man. Explore a little bit. Build your own box. I got told no so many times that I finally had to figure out, man, okay, if ain't nobody gonna help me, it ain't because they don't like me. They busy. They got other stuff going on. They ain't got, and to you, you're not important because you're not on their level. That's okay. Don't take it personal. Because one day you're going to be up there and there's going to be some people that you're going to have to say no to. You're not trying to be mean, but it's like, hey, okay, I try to always give people the best advice if I can, but sometimes I got to say no. Because if you get too much on your plate and you spread yourself thin, what you've built is going to come crumbling down. There's a rule of 3. You have to create 3 things in your business or in your life. Mine is family, business, philanthropy. You got to give. If giving ain't part of what your equation, you might as well stop now. Now, when I say give, that don't mean I'm saying you got to give all your money away. There's more than giving you just money. Advice you can give. You can pray for people. You can give your time. We've created a foundation called the Rock Teen Youth Foundation. And the Rock Teen Youth Foundation is a mentorship program. And we offer scholarships, we do a lot of stuff with kids, but we also do things for adults as well. That's a whole other conversation, but I used to do so much nonprofit stuff, so much community service stuff, that finally someone told me and said, Rock, why don't you create a foundation? You're already doing the work. So just create a foundation so now all of your energy can go into your foundation and your foundation team can make sure all the work gets done. And then you just show up and do what you got to do. So, business, foundation, what was the first one? Family. Everything that comes on my plate, and I get a lot of stuff thrown my way every single day. I got to take all this stuff. Then I got to say, okay, now comes a game. This right here, I can fit under family. This right here can go under business, what I'm doing as an entrepreneur. This right here can go in the foundation part because that's charitable stuff. This right here doesn't fit. This right here doesn't fit. Okay, this goes right here. You're literally playing a game with all your stuff. So now if it can fit and be implemented into the main 3 things that you have going on, you say yes to that. Because you're already doing the stuff. You're just kind of fitting it in there. But all the extra stuff, you got to say no to. part as an investor and all that kind of stuff. That's weird. So I had to say no.
Use this for now.
Cool. And at the time, I'm like, cool. He doing his thing. And time went by. He's quietly built a monster out there. Now, he's not on the shelves at the grocery stores and stuff yet, but he's still independently built a monster. So I came back to him 2 years ago. And I said, hey, man, I see you making some noise out there. He said, yeah, Rock, man, everything good. God is good, man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, hey, man, let me know how I can be of service, man, because I think I got some time. I would love to be involved. And he's like, man, perfect timing. So he allowed me to get stake and invest into the company at that moment. Now Positivity Water just closed the deal with Walmart. It'll be on the shelves at top of 2024. That started off as a no. Now, I can tell you 100 other stories that I just missed out on. You heard the story with Shaq? They brought Starbucks to Shaq a long time ago. And Shaq said, no, man, black people don't drink coffee. That was his answer. The creator and founder of Starbucks came to Shaq first when he was still playing. He said, man, black folks don't drink coffee like that. Cool. So he'll tell you the story to this day. He said the biggest mistake he ever made out of all his investments was Starbucks. Guess where Starbucks went next? Magic Johnson. The rest is history. The rest is history. So out of all the things that Shaq do, now you see him on every television commercial, great, he's making crazy amounts of money as an investor, but he missed Starbucks. So sometimes, what do you learn from that? Don't just believe the hype that black folks don't drink coffee. Don't just believe the hype. Sometimes, man, especially as African Americans, we've been taught so much stuff that's wrong. No fault to nobody because they just taught us what they knew, right? So we can't even blame them, whoever them is. We can't blame. They just did the best they could, and they showed us and taught us what they knew. When I first started my radio career, and I'm getting ready to wrap up, man, my whole family was telling me I was crazy. I had just got divorced. I had 2 daughters, and they were little. I used to bring them to the radio station and make pallets. Me and Rick talk about it all the time. On the show, I used to make pallets in the production room for them to sleep while we did the morning show. It was me and the girls for like 2.5 years before I met my amazing wife, Crystal. And we just celebrated our 15-year anniversary last week. But it was just, well, thank you. But those days with my daughters, Lyric and Harmony, at the studio, and then after work, I'd get off and take them to school and all that good stuff. Long story short, though, it was the moment of my parents and my family. They were doing what they were supposed to do from what they knew. You need to go get you another type of job. You can't keep taking these kids, blah, 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 whatever you got, because that's all they knew. You don't bring kids to work. Back in the day, you don't bring kids. What job is going to let you bring your kids to work? That didn't happen. That's all they knew. I understood that. I didn't hate them for that. They were concerned as being a single father, so they were just giving the best advice that they know how to give. But I'm living my dream career at the moment. I'm like, I could have easily said, you know what, you're right, and went and got me a regular job somewhere else. But I would have been miserable. And because that misery, guess who else would have been miserable? Lyric and Harmony. Because Dad's miserable, I'm bringing that energy home to them. Because I'm not following my passion. But because I hung in there, and I stuck with it, and I figured it out, and I got a team of people that support. I got away from the dream killers, and I found people that started supporting. Hey, let me know if you need me. I had a whole bunch of aunties that would help. Hey, I'll babysit if you need me to. And the village came. You know how they say it takes a village to raise a kid? A village really blessed me. God blessed me with a village of people to help. Now, my parents and my family, they did a lot. Because they were still, hey, let us know what you need. But there was a point where it was like, man, I don't know. So my final thing, y'all, whatever you take away from this, my challenge for you, you're going to get a book. All this is in my book and then some. And I wrote the book real short on purpose. Why? because I put myself into consideration. Remember, I used to couldn't stand reading. So I used to always like, give me the small books first. Let me start there. And I started with How to Win Friends and Influence People. Who moved the cheese? Think and Grow Rich. And that was a big book for me. Think and Grow Rich that's about like this. Took me a while to get through it. Richest Man in Babylon. That's another small one. All these books on the shelf, I read most of them. But my book, I said I want to make it's about 150 pages. Because I know you'll be able to get through it quick, it's straight to the point, and even when I was writing it, I designed, say, hey, there's going to be, you see how random I am as I'm talking today? I'm kind of all over the place, but my book is kind of similar. Chapter, hit the points, next chapter. Now, at the end of each chapter, there's a little curriculum. Hold yourself accountable. What did you take from this chapter? Write it down. You got to apply it to your life. Everything that you learn, immediately apply it to your life. Don't just say, oh, that was cool, whatever, and you keep on going. Apply what you've learned. Even if it's something that you already knew. Apply it. Because if you don't apply it, now once again, you're going through life as a freaking zombie. And you wonder, 10 years go by, why you never took a step. Man, guys, don't let next week come and you haven't escalated yourself further than today. Don't let tomorrow come. Man, if I go to sleep at night and if I didn't do something that was more positive or impactful today, I can't go to sleep. If I leave this room and you guys didn't get nothing from this, I failed you. Challenge yourself to be that same person. Be a difference maker. Stop walking past people like this. Man, you make eye contact with someone, at least give them, hey, how you doing? Quit being a zombie, man. That's another thing, man. Speak life into people. Speak life into yourself. Speak your day. I'm going to do this. Don't make a to-do list just to make a to-do list. Okay, I got to get all this stuff done. You write 10 things down and you do 6 of them, then you roll the other 4 to the next day. Next day, you got 10 more things, plus those 4. Now you're at 14. Next day, you keep rolling stuff over. Now you got a list of 25 things, and you wonder why you never get stuff done. Open your calendar, and instead of making a to-do list, you plan your day. At 2 o'clock, during my lunch break, I'm going to do this. At 5 o'clock, I'm doing this. At 1:30, I'm doing this. At 7 p.m., I'm doing this. And you commit to doing that. Don't let nothing get in the way unless it's an emergency. If it's some kind of family emergency, okay, that's your only excuse. Other than that, you got to tell no. Someone no. Hey, can you come do this real fast? I said, no, because I got something to do at that time. It just take a little bit of that. I'm sorry. When I get done, I hit you up. You can tell me if I'm sorry. Man, people going to try to steer you off your doggone stuff. Everybody got 24 hours. What you doing with yours? We got the same 24 hours. What you choosing to do with yours? Am I going to give most of it to everybody else? You let everybody take your time because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. People are afraid to say no. Man, say no. You can say it in a nice way. You ain't got to say, man, hell no. You ain't got to be mean. Say, I'm sorry, I got something to do, but I'll get with you, check on what you, when I get done doing this, and then whatever. If I can still help at that time, whatever. And sometimes you just may say it may not fit. What they're trying to do may not fit. Somebody been trying to get me to do something with them for a long time. Really great guy. Love the dude, man. He got hustle. He got heart, determination. He never quits. He's got all the good tangibles. But it doesn't fit from what I'm doing. So my help to him is I just feed him advice. The best way I can. Hey, man, try this, do this, whatever. But I just don't have the time and the capacity to stop what I'm doing to go over here. Now, not to say that we may not still be able to work together one day, but at this moment, it's not fitting into my little 3 pillars. Does that make sense? It's okay. Say no. Get your time back. Stop making an excuse that you don't have time. And if you think that you don't have time to do stuff, you need to analyze your stuff. You need to If you got a whiteboard, that's great. If not, get a freaking yellow notepad. They 50 cents at the dollar store. They ain't expensive. Get your yellow notepad, write down everything that you're doing, day to day, month to month, whatever. Just write it all down. It ain't got to be perfect, and it ain't got to be pretty. And then you say, okay, which out of all these things you wrote down, which are the most important to you? Then you separate the list, okay? Important, not as important. Everything that's not as important, throw away for now. And when I say throw away, you just put it aside for now. Put it in the drawer. This is your top priorities, and you stay focused on those only. And you commit. And you find people that are better than you and smarter than you at doing that. And get help. It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's another thing that we get in our own way. We want to go from making $1 to making $1 million in 1 week. Now, if you hit the lottery, there you go. But I'm betting on me. I'm not betting on numbers. I'm not betting on a ticket. Now, if I happen to win, thank God, that's just more. But I'm betting on me. Take one step at a time. All this stuff I'm telling you guys ain't rocket science. Reward yourself. Man, I love ice cream and chocolate chip cookies. Every time I achieve a small new step goal, and we're going to get some ice cream. Man, where are we going? We're going to get ice cream. The kids love it. My wife be like, babe, really? I mean, you just did that. I said, that's further than what I did yesterday. Let's go. You just looking for an excuse to go eat some sweets because you got a sweet tooth, whatever. That too. But every goal that you accomplish, every step, bam, just keep going. I'm moving real slow right now, ain't I? I'm moving real slow. I ain't going, you think I ain't going nowhere. I'm moving real slow. But where am I going? Some people, man, come on, Rock, hurry up and move, man, go. Some people they get impatient, man, forget it. Now they want to try to call other ways, go around. I'm just still doing this, like, I'm just still chugging along. Now, I went from there to here in a real slow manner. Everybody else running around because they trying to do other stuff. They trying to take shortcuts. But when you take shortcuts, you get cut short. I'm just over here. I got my plan. I've got my game plan. I'm staying focused. I'm trying to get here. And I'm not letting all that noise get in the way. I'm just, all right, I'm doing my thing. Oh, yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw you. This is about the third time you've been around here. And then I finally making it, people wonder, man, how did Rock do it? Because I used to be that one, going all over. I just go this way. I'll go this way. Nothing wrong with stepping off the beaten path. There's nothing wrong with saying, okay, everybody else is doing this, but ain't nobody out there playing. Nothing wrong. That's that big audacious goal. That's the one that scares people, right? That's the one that's like, well, how come all that land out there, how come everybody's just going this way, but nobody's going out there to explore? The big goal, let me go test this waters out. I'm going to bet on myself. See, sometimes it's good to have the map before you go in the woods so you can kind of have a plan. But sometimes, doggone it, I'm going into the freaking woods and I'm going to figure it out once I get in there. Whatever happens, you got to live with it, good or bad. Okay, now I've learned this particular woods, I'm going to need the map. I'm going to go get my map, and I'm going now. I know what to expect. Now I know, and I'm going to win. Does that make sense? I'm not going to say, oh, I'm never going in there again. That's life. That's all it is, guys. I can keep going on and give you all these kind of examples, but it's the same thing over and over, just different examples. So my challenge is when you get the book, read it, and then apply it. Immediately apply it. Reread it. Then don't stop at my book. Go get another book. Read it. If you want to find out how someone became a billionaire, go get their book and read their book. Learn their story. The information's out there. It's called the University of YouTube. Man, there's nothing that's not on freaking YouTube, guys. Use it. Don't sit here and scroll all day long. Nothing wrong with laughing and having fun. Oh, that was cool. Now an hour then went by. And you say you don't have enough time. Now, if being on social media, if it's gratifying to you, then wait until right before you get ready to go to sleep. You got everything done that you're not supposed to get done. Now I'm about to go to sleep. Let me catch up. Whew. And then next thing you know, you're going to sleep. Do it then. But don't do it in the middle of the day and unless you're making money. If you see me on my phone a lot, I'm making money. I'm figuring out the next move. I'm not just sitting there watching what everybody else is doing. Oh, that's kind of whatever. Man, please. I'm giving everybody my time. And that's what we do. We get on social media and we just laugh at all the stuff. And it's cool to laugh. Listen, I love laughing. I laugh every freaking day. But I gotta provide for my family. And I want to teach my kids how to provide for their family. So I'm wrapping up. I would love to get questions for you guys. And if you don't have a question, that's okay. I don't want to say shame on you. But if you don't ask questions, you're never going to get smarter. You're never going to keep learning. And so many people are afraid to ask and open their mouth because they think that if they ask a question, everybody else is going to think that they're dumb. Oh, you don't know that? You didn't know that? Ah. And that's what our kids are taught. That's why our kids don't want to raise their hand in class because they don't want all their peers to make, that was a stupid question, whatever. I tell my kids all the time, I wish you would. If you don't know, you better ask. You better ask. You the fool. You don't know nothing. So ask. And if I don't have the answer to the question, when people ask me stuff and I don't know the answer to it, I'm not going to lie just to make myself sound like I'm Mr. Smart Guy. Because now I'm going to make myself look stupid. Because did you hear what Rock said? That didn't even make no sense. And all I had to do was say, you know what? I don't know the answer to that question, but guess what? I'm going to find out. That was a good question. Let me go find out. And then I'm going to send that information with what I find out to you. Here, man, I talked to my blah, 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 blah. Here's what we learned. Here's what we just learned. Now I just got smarter. Does that make sense? So y'all do the same thing. Don't walk around, as you're mastering something, whatever you're mastering, don't walk around like you're the master. Still walk around as you're a humble servant that just happens to be moving in silence as a master. Always move in silence. Don't be the one talking about, hey, look what I'm doing. That's right, man. I got this over. Don't make noise. Move in silence. People gonna figure it out. They're gonna see, man, what in the world? Where did you get? How come you didn't tell nobody? Because sometimes when you talk too loud, that's when the haters come. That's when they start putting them roadblocks. Oh, Rock T got this going on, so be aware, because he's gonna come to you next. And he's a good guy, but I don't know, man. I told him no because I didn't really whatever. So now the next person's already waiting for you. Yeah, man, I talked to so-and-so, man. He said whatever. Man, move in silence. Just keep moving in silence. They're going to find out. Any questions?
You got a mic here, so to make sure that people can hear your question, don't ask without the mic. So who had the first question?
Danny has a question.
What was your biggest struggle through, getting to where you are now?
Oh, wow. Biggest struggle is ego. Having an ego. Thought I knew it all. I was the one that didn't want to ask. Remember I told you about my little party and concert and stuff? I was the one that thought I could figure it out. Right? That was the biggest. I was in my own way. Because every time I tried to do it myself, when I really didn't know what I was doing, failed every single time at it. I was the one that kept doing that. I planted so many seeds at one time, and I couldn't keep up watering them all. So I'm trying to water them. By the time I'm watering this one, that one's over there dying. I'm over here trying to water this one. Now that flower's dying. I'm over here I had so much stuff going on because I thought, man, I can do this. I can plant all these seeds. All of them gonna grow up to be big old huge trees, and I'm gonna be a billionaire one day. Watch. Instead of saying, plant this seed, get masterminds to help me water this the proper way. Sit back, analyze, okay, how come it's not growing right? How come the leaves, how come this one? Okay, let me get in here and fix this right here, add some nutrients, add some flower food, add some, okay, whatever. Hey, man, can you come check this out too? Because, oh yeah, man, you should probably do this. And then here's how you can, whatever. You follow me? I was in my own way because I thought I knew it all. That was the biggest struggle, and I couldn't get out of my own way because I just kept thinking, oh, I can read a book. Then I can figure it out on my own, and let's go. Instead of asking people that's good at that and being a sponge. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. We should listen more. And don't talk if you ain't got nothing to say. That's another thing we do. We get up in the rooms, we in these meetings, and we just want everybody else is going around the room talking, putting their 2 cents in, and we ain't really got nothing to say, but we still want to talk. Yeah, and so, and we got to be with whatever. I'm like, don't talk. If you ain't got nothing to say, if you can't add no value to the conversation, just listen and take it all in. That's how you become smarter. Just take it up. So that was my biggest thing, getting out of my own way.
You talked about a nonprofit and you switched over to a foundation. Could you give me the benefits or if it's more profitable switching from nonprofit to a foundation?
So the nonprofit is the foundation. Okay. So that's all of our philanthropic work, all of our nonprofit, community service, charitable work goes through our foundation. So now we can make a bigger impact. Instead of me trying to be 100 places at one time, now we got a foundation that can impact 100 places. So if this organization needs help doing this, and all these organizations, when we support all of them, we can use our resources to help support all of them. Does that make sense? So now we're making a bigger splash in our philanthropic work by starting that organization. But you got to also have the right people that's helping you run this organization, or you'll get in trouble with IRS. That's when that's when you hear them stories about, hey, this foundation got hundreds of millions of dollars and it's been mismanaged and blah, 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 and now they're going to jail. So you got to have the right people involved to make sure you're doing it right.
Okay, I have a question from someone who's watching online. Her name is Twyla.
Yes.
And she was scheduled to be here, but something came up.
What's her name?
Twyla.
Twyla, what's that?
So here's her question. Do you have any physical mentors that you have access to? If so, how were you able to acquire a mentor or even more mentors? Because when she asks, they always say that they're too busy nowadays.
Yeah, great question. That goes back to that no. So if I have someone that I want to physically mentor me and I want their time physically and they just don't have time for me, then that's where I follow them in what they're doing in their journey. I follow them on social media, YouTube, I watch the video, I read their books, right? No excuses. So I'm still watching, even though they can't give me their physical time. If I send them a text message and they ain't got time to talk to me or pick up the phone or whatever, I'm following everything that they're doing and I'm paying attention. But then I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to go find somebody else that can give me their physical time. That's kind of on that same level. All you need is one. Start with one. Start with one, then get two. But make sure it's people that has done what you're trying to do. Now, there's other mentors that you can have that can just kind of be that self-reassuring, motivating type cheerleader for you. They may not be making a whole bunch of money, but they are that one person that's really riding for you. They really like, man, keep going. You got it. I don't care what the haters are saying. You keep doing it. Whatever that person, most of the time is grandmama. But whatever you got to do to connect yourself with that kind of energy, those kind of mentors, as you continue to search to find that big mentor, because all it takes is one. And if you read their book or books or their content, or maybe sign up for their digital online course, it may be worth investing into yourself to do that. Because that's another thing we said, man, I ain't got $1,000 for this online course, but I love what this person is doing because I want to do the same thing, whether it's real estate, whatever it is. Well, maybe I can't afford it. What you mean you can't afford it? Well, by the time I pay all my bills, I ain't got no money left. Well, pay yourself first. Humble yourself. Let me show you how to do that. I did it. Pay yourself first. So you got your check that comes in. Then you got all your bills that you got to pay. So you don't want to get your car to get repoed. You don't want to be kicked out of your house. You don't want your phone to get shut off. Well, I get it. Humble yourself. Call the Verizon. Say, hey, I know I got to pay my phone bill this month, but can I get on a payment plan because I'm going to need a little help for the next couple of months. So instead of paying, whatever your phone bill is, you get on a payment plan. You saving a little money right there. Hey, TXU Electric, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pay my whole bill this month, but can I get on a payment plan? My mortgage company, I know my mortgage is this much, but can I get on a payment plan, whatever? Don't miss your payments. Now, if they say yes, you got to hold yourself accountable. Don't miss your payments and put yourself in a bigger hole. And you're just finding these extra pockets of money and you're putting into this account that you can't touch. Get a savings account that you can't touch for like 6 months. And you tell the bank, I'm opening this account, don't let me touch it till 6 months. Now you want to go out and buy this purse or these sneakers that cost $100, $200 that you don't need, you just want. So you was about to spend $100, $200 on a purse or some sneakers or that shirt, whatever it is that you don't need, you just want. Catch yourself, discipline. I'm gonna go put this $200 in that same bank account. You were gonna spend it anyways, so go spend it on yourself. Invest in yourself. That's $200 right there. You may eat out a lot. Hey, I'm going to McDonald's. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Chick-fil-A up today. Man, I'm gonna go to whatever. All this extra money you spending, these little nickels and dimes, add up. So you gonna spend it anyways? Go put that money in that account. I did this. So I'm telling you, it works. I've tested this. I still do it to this day. When I really need to save some money for something, this is what I do. I sacrifice all of my wants and I put it into me. So now I got $1,000. Now I can afford that course. No excuses. Get it done. It's right here. What kind of mindset you gonna have? When you're building a house, you can't build a house, a strong house on just grass and dirt. What they gotta put down first? Concrete. They gotta put concrete first so that house can be solid when they build it. Your foundation is right here. Your mindset. If you ain't got a strong mindset, it doesn't matter what you try to do in life. You might as well forget. Listen, I never tell nobody to quit, but if you ain't got a strong mindset, good luck. It's never over unless you quit, but good luck. Because that house you can build a house on the ground. That thing gonna start leaning. As soon as we get a storm, as soon as it start raining, that ground gonna start shifting, especially if there's clay in the ground. You ain't did the soil test and all that. Man, your house gonna start leaning. Now you gotta come back and put more money to try to get that fixed. And now you're wasting your investment. Because you're putting it into the wrong, your foundation is all jacked up. Next question.
As a high school student, how did you know that you wanted to go into the speaking field? Was it somebody that you admired or just like talking?
Yeah, well, as a 10-year-old little boy, the two goals that I had was professional baseball player and radio DJ. I was the kid that walked around with headphones on at 10 years old, not to listen to the music. I couldn't wait for the radio DJ to come on and start talking. Every time I'm driving, we're riding in the car, my brother and sisters get mad because the DJ started talking. I say, oh, shut up, listen to the... What? The music's not even on. The music went off. The guy's just talking. That's what I wanted, because I wanted to start imitating them. I wanted to mimic them. I wanted to be that. Man, I just thought that was a cool job. I want to be a radio DJ one day. So I knew at the age of 10 what I wanted to do. And I just started pretending to be that, which is another challenge. Whatever it is you guys are trying to do, see yourself already doing it. If you want the corner office on the top floor of that building and you want to be running that company, dress the part, act the part. Even if you ain't there yet, pretend you are. In your head, you already there. Preseason. Wake up every day like, man, I'm going to run this company one day. Let's go. And you walk in the room, don't walk in like, and you kind of go off into your whatever. You walk into the room like you belong. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. How you doing? Everything good? Absolutely. Yeah. You demand the room. Now people are going to be like, who is that? Who is that? You ain't got to be a celebrity just for people to say, who is that? Oh, wow, that's so. Man, you walk in like you belong. And when you get into those rooms, belong. Don't just be over here like, man, how you doing? Can I get your card? Let's exchange information. Let's go. And then follow up. You walk into a room of billionaires and you get all of their contact information. All you need is one of them to reply to you. Hey, I met you at the thing the other day. I would love 5 minutes of your time to share whatever. Most of them may not reply, but one may. And you never know unless you try or do. Because if you try, you're going to talk yourself out of it. Well, I went to 2 of them. They said no. What about the other 10? You tried. You didn't do. You got to commit to it, man. Man, when I get invited to these VIP functions and stuff, and there's people in there that I've heard of or may not know, by the time I'm done, they know who I am. I tell my kids they play sports, I say, make them remember your name. By the time this game is over, make them remember the name. Yes, I know it's about the name on the front, team, but you make them remember that too. One thing about Kobe Bryant, man, one line that he always said, they used to always get on, man, you a ball hog, man, share the ball, man. Ain't no I in team. What'd he say? But there's a me in that mother. There's an M-E in that mother. So, yes, I'm all about team. I'm all about team. Team, let's go. You got to have a strong team to succeed anyways. But doggone it, you got to have some confidence in yourself as well. Right? And some people can confuse that with arrogance. It's just confidence. So your haters going to think, oh, you're being arrogant and cocky. No, I'm confident. My daughter plays basketball at Harvard, starting point guard. I tell her all the time, you pray before every day you wake up. Thank God for the ability that He's given you to get to where you are right now. You be the best leader on your team. You be the best teammate. But at the end of the day, you go give them the business and put on a show. Now, putting on the show is, people can confuse that with being flashy. Oh, she's too flashy. She loves watching Magic Johnson videos. All the flashy passes behind the back and all that kind of stuff. I said, they ain't never seen that. You go be the one. Well, they don't expect women's sports to be all that kind of flashy. I said, well, that's why women's sports, I wonder why nobody's watching women's sports the way they should. You be the one. And that's what she does. And she gets people that, oh, man, whatever. But she also gets some haters like, man, you're doing too much. You're trying to show out. You're doing too flashy, whatever. Oh, now ESPN wants to interview you. Your social media is increasing, which is your brand. That's your brand. They got the NIL going on. So now these college kids can start making money off their brands. It's starting to register now. I said, go put on a show. So that at 10, I knew what I wanted to do. And I just committed to it.
Okay, another question from Bridget Taylor. She is another Empower Series speaker.
Love it.
She runs a nonprofit that focuses on MS awareness. Mm-hmm. And her question for you, Rock T, is how often do you evaluate your journey?
Every day. You say Bridget? Yeah. That's her name? I evaluate every single day. Because if I go more than a day to evaluate, I'm starting to go into procrastination mode again. Now, there's levels to it. You got your daily evaluation, you got your weekly evaluation. This is why everybody should have a planner. You should have a planner that allows you to plan daily, weekly, and monthly, and then yearly goals. So you're planning and reevaluating daily. Then after you get through the week, did you get everything accomplished that you were supposed to do this week? Because you plan daily. Then once you get through the month, you look back at the month. Did we accomplish everything that we were supposed to do? Then so on and so forth. Every day before I go to bed, before I start my next day, I say, okay, did I get everything completed the way I was supposed to today? Okay, now what am I supposed to do tomorrow? I've already got in my head what I got to do tomorrow. I don't wake up the next day trying to plan it. My day's already planned before I go to sleep. That works for me. Because now that eliminates clutter. Now it eliminates all the unnecessary stuff that, oh man, I wanted to go do this, or that, but I got this meeting over here that's more important. So I got to say no to this. And I do this all the time. If it was a phone, swiping left, I got to save that for another time. Swipe right, I keep it that one. Okay, right, left. That's called reevaluating. Every single day. When you go out there and put an address into your phone to go somewhere, you make a wrong turn, it recalibrates. Recalibrate every day. Any more questions?
Let's see.
what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs?
Oh, wow. Great question. My biggest advice, man, is to bet on you. Bet on you and don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. Make a big old huge goal of what you want to be, what you want your business to be, and then reverse engineer it backwards. Okay? What does that mean? Follow people and study people that are doing what it is that you want to do. But then you also got to find what makes your business different. You got to find that it's called a unique proposition. What makes me different from Walmart if I'm doing the same type of business as Walmart? What makes me different from Amazon if I'm doing the same? Whatever it is, my t-shirt, what makes my t-shirt business different than anything else? You got to find that unique proposition. You got to challenge yourself. What's different? And you lead with that. Because when you put yourself out into the market and say, hey, look at my business, look what I'm doing, come buy my stuff, something's got to stand out that's different than everybody else. Because that's what's going to hook people. Example. I've got an HBCU brand, okay? And there's a lot of HBCU stuff out there. I do an HBCU segment on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. It's called HBCU Know. I host a lot of HBCU homecomings and I speak at a lot of HBCUs. And I named my speaking when I go to HBCUs, HBCU Know. So I turned it into a chant. That's how it started. Like every time I say HBCU, I'm gonna say HBC. Everybody else say you know. So it started off with an HBC, you know, and it started catching. So I started doing HBC, you know, on the radio, right? Then I started saying, how can I remix this and make it even better? I started telling stories of heroes and sheroes that attended HBCUs and name that the HBC You Know segment. So I'll spend about 90 seconds to 2 minutes talking about an amazing person that went to an HBCU, and then at the end I'm like, if you didn't know, well now you know. HBC, now you know. That make sense? So it went from that to I said, man, merchandise. So I created an HBC You Know logo. Started putting it on t-shirts. Put it out there on social media. I woke up one day, I'm like, God, I got 25 orders. Oh, that's kind of dope. Oh, okay, cool. Got with my little t-shirt company. Said, hey man, let's produce these and get them mailed out. Here's the mailing list. Woke up the next day, we got 45 more orders. This is just on social media. Next thing you know, 1,000. It just started popular. Everybody was, wait. Now people are putting these shirts on, getting them, and they're on social media wearing the shirts. Where you get that shirt at? I said, hey man, we gotta do some hats. We gotta do hoodies. Man, when I started doing the hoodies, but I didn't want to just do a regular hoodie because everybody else was doing regular hoodies. Everybody said, oh man, screen printed on a hoodie and you keep it going. That's cool. I said, well, no, I want to do a stitched chenille patch. It's gonna be a little bit more expensive, but let's do that. Now I'm different than everybody else's HBCU stuff. So I did a stitched chenille patch, bright colors, all that kind of stuff. Put it on the hoodie. Even the little drawstrings from the hoodie, I said, remove the drawstring that it comes with, and I want a reflector, one that kind of reflects, like when you walk in, it kind of blings. I want those kind of strings, but that's kind of expensive, Rock. Okay, well then we're gonna increase the price. Now we got a premium product, like Gucci, Louis Vuitton. The reason why you pay more is premium. Everything is hand stitched. It ain't gonna fall apart. It ain't gonna fade. So why are you spending for that money for it? So now, instead of buying a $50 hoodie, when you want one of these, you spend $85. Because it cost me $30 to make. So I gotta mark up the price to make some kind, plus I gotta pay my distributor. I found something that was different. Now the competition comes and say, man, we gotta do those same kind of patches for our brand. So now you start seeing all these other people with the same kind of stuff. So what am I gonna do? I can sit back, or I can say I gotta find the next different. Now we got the coffee collection. What's the coffee collection? All browns. You got the beige, dark brown, you got and premium roast, light roast, cream, that's the light brown. I'm just remixing it. Follow me? Let's do bright colors. All the bright color hoodies. We calling that the the candy collection. What's the red? Cherry bomb. Blue raspberry. The yellow, lemonade. Fun flavor, it's all marketing. Get your favorite candy collection of the HBCU hoodies. So now people are like, we need a mint green, minty fresh. I want a black on black. We calling that black ice. That's all. I'm finding different unique ways to recreate the brand. And they eating it up. But I'm also delivering premium product because you don't want to be doing all this stuff and then they get it and it's whack. You put it in the dryer, it shrinks up, start peeling, all the stitching come out because now you're going out of business, especially with social media. Man, I got my HBCU hoodie. Man, this thing is weak, it's whack. The color's faded after one time. I can't wear it no more. It's too small. Now, I ain't getting mine. Y'all see them reviews? Yeah. You follow me? So don't rush. Take your time. Do it right. Because you got one shot. Listen to that Eminem, Lose Yourself song. You got one shot. What you going to do with it? But then, we don't quit. If you just happen to mess it up, you learn from it. So now when you come back the second time, it may take a little harder to break through, but at least you figured out why everybody was complaining the first time. Does that make sense? I know I rambled, but hopefully that helps out.
Wow. What did you guys get? Did you get some good stuff?
Yeah. I really hope I didn't bore you guys. Like,
oh,
for real.
My gosh.
I really hope I didn't bore you guys.
One question. I don't need that.
No, yes, you do. This is recording.
Okay. What kind of encouragement do you have for the over 65 people who are hesitant?
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Did you hear that story? Yes. It ain't ever over unless you quit. I'm telling you, man. There's a lot of. If we're talking about business, there's a lot of multi-millionaire and billionaires that didn't get going until well into their over 55. Don't put no timetable on it, man. You put a timetable. The only time you want to put a timetable on stuff is your goals. Like, I want to accomplish this task by this time or date. Because now you've got it on there, you're challenging yourself, I got to get this done by this time. That's when you put your time on stuff. But don't be so strong with, well, man, if I haven't done this by the age of so-and-so, guess it wasn't meant for me. Man, keep going. Just figure it out. Learn from it. Man, you'll be a man. It's all these guys, man, that created Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, man, they made movies about this stuff. They was in their dorm rooms at Harvard. They dropped out of Harvard, and they just said, hey, man, this would be dope to be. People can come in one place to communicate with each other, have fun, they can do whatever. And everybody, even Harvard was telling them, man, this ain't gonna work. They dropped out of Harvard and went and created Facebook. Look at it now. They could have quit. So don't let age make you stop. And whatever you got to do, learn yourself too. Learn your weaknesses and your strengths. If you know you're the type of person that talk yourself out of stuff, that's an excuse. Well, the reason why is because I'm 65. Well, the reason why is all the other 300 times that I've tried it didn't work. Everybody else keep telling me that I probably should try something new. All excuses. And hopefully my book can help resolve that for you.
So what is your name?
I'm Mike.
Mike, thank you for that question because I'm only 3 years behind you, bro. and the real deal, man, real. People ask me why I do the Empower series. Because I need the Empower series, right? This isn't an Oprah interview, so I'm not going to cry. But I'm telling you, I have goals. What is my audacious goal? What is it?
1 million.
1 million people before the end of the year. And I need this. I need people like Rock T to come in and push me. I need his book. I need to read his book, and I need to apply his book. Because we're not done yet, man. There are people who need us. There are people who need you. They need the desire that you have in your heart right now, because at the end of the day, there are people out there that will be given hope, they will be given inspiration, and believe it or not, it will save their lives. So that's why we're here. And I am, man, words cannot express, bro.
Let me tell you something, Cliff.
They cannot express,
I'm
man.
honored to be here. And you started this in 2011?
Yeah.
So you got a catalog of all these speeches, of all these experts. There's no reason why you shouldn't have an online course right now. You've already got the stuff, bro.
See, he's pushing me again, y'all.
You've got
Live streaming.
You've got the valuable, it's built. You ain't even got to go try to, let me start. It's built. You just chop that thing up, get with people that does online courses. Say, I've got all this. And slowly but surely, if it's put out the right way, you're going to have a lot of people that sees all this stuff. Say, oh, man, everybody else is doing it. Why not you?
Well, I'll tell you. So I'm going to, okay, you put me out on blast, bro. I got to act on that now. Okay, cool.
Activate, baby.
Look, I'm going to catch that. Not in the end zone yet. I got to run. Got to run.
Cool.
But here's the thing right now. Right now, that content is on YouTube. Because I believe, again, y'all, these are the 4 pillars. We all need hope. Well, Dennis Kimbrough says, who's the most dangerous person in the room? The person with no hope. We all woke up this morning hoping that we will get the things we want to get done. We all came here this morning hoping, and we fulfilled it, that we will be inspired. So we all need hope. We need to be inspired to take action on our ideas. We got ideas in us right now that we're not acting on. So we need to be inspired to act, educated, and also I believe the universe gives us resources. They're all around us. It's an illusion to think that we're deficient, that we're lacking anything. You see what I'm saying?
Let me stop you right there. What he just said is so powerful. The universe is going to give you what you give it. If you always negative, you always complaining, you always wonder why everybody ain't trying to support you, and you just got this negative energy about yourself, the universe is going to say, oh, you want to be negative? Let me show you. Let me give you everything that you want then. Since you want to be like this, I'm going to, boom, there you go. You deal with that. That hoopty car that I had, man, I washed it, waxed it. I took care of that thing like it was a brand new shiny Cadillac. You couldn't tell me that was my car. I took care of that thing. And that led to a new car. Because I took care of my raggedy car. That's how the universe works. Don't ask me to explain it, but God. Don't stop complaining. Stop fussing. Stop getting messed up. Some people wake up just mad. And those people that are around you, that's that way, Stiff Arm, Heisman. I love you, but even if it's your own family, I'm sorry, I gotta get away from that. If you want to be that way, fine. And grandmama used to say, you gotta feed them with a long handled spoon. Well, I got a whole bunch of those long handled spoons. That was powerful what he just said right there. That energy, man, I'm telling you. And sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and say, man, how learn yourself. And the best way to stop bad habits, start new good ones. It's simple. That don't mean you got to beat yourself up. Just, okay, I'm going to stop doing this, and I'm going to start doing this.
Thank you for watching our Empower Series YouTube video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit the subscribe button below, as well as the little button to be notified the next time we upload our video. Until then, stay connected with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your social media flavor is. Inspire the world to thrive. See you soon.